You've probably heard the story by now, the one about AI and your job. And let's be honest, it's designed to feel like you're on borrowed time. It's a really powerful narrative too, packed with huge numbers and these urgent warnings. So today we're going to pull back the curtain on one viral version of this story. We're going to see not just what it says, but how it's built to make you feel a certain way.
This is how it starts. And it's not really a question, is it? It's a hook. It's meant to put you on the back foot, to frame AI as the bad guy in the story of your career. And that framing, well, it powers everything that comes next.
So instead of just reacting to the alarm bells, we're going to take a closer look. We're going to dissect this thing, piece by piece. We'll look at how the arguments are structured, how the data is presented, and really try to understand the end goal of this whole narrative.
And this story, it wastes absolutely no time getting to the drama. It kicks off with a claim so big, so intense, that it's pretty much impossible to ignore. It sets the tone from the very first sentence.
Massacre. Let's just pause on that word. That's not the kind of language you hear in a typical market analysis, right? It's a word that screams violence, chaos, and that is exactly the emotional territory this story wants to operate in. It's the foundation for the entire argument. So how do you back up a claim like massacre? Well, you use a number so staggering it's hard to even comprehend. $110 billion. The story says OpenAI raised this money with one goal in mind, to replace you. But we have to ask, is that really what's going on? I mean, yes, OpenAI is raising insane amounts of money. But these massive funding rounds are really about a race for market consolidation and scaling up infrastructure. It's a strategic power play for dominance, not just a slush fund to automate individual jobs.
Okay, so after dropping that bombshell number, the narrative zooms out. It wants to convince you of the sheer, unprecedented scale of this new AI workforce.
And here's where we see a really clever rhetorical move. They take this number, 900 million, which is roughly ChatGPT's user base, and they totally reframe it. See, it's not 900 million users of a tool anymore. In their story, it's a 900 million strong global workforce. And just to put that speed into perspective, think about this. It took television 13 years to get 100 million users. The internet, 7 years. ChatGPT hit that mark in 2 months. That kind of exponential growth is the fuel for this whole unstoppable force narrative.
And to give this new workforce a kind of superhuman glow, the story pulls in this quote, supposedly from OpenAI's CEO. It's an amazing soundbite, isn't it? But for any strategic leader, it just leads to more questions. Okay, but what kind of work exactly? Under what specific circumstances? Without that context, it works a lot better as a killer marketing line than as a precise metric.
You know, a digital workforce, no matter how smart, still needs a physical home. And this is the next chapter in the story, the massive, real-world construction project that's powering this AI revolution.
The argument points to giants like NVIDIA and Amazon who are pouring billions of dollars into these data centers the size of cities. From a strategic point of view, this is more than just supporting a new tech. It's a land grab. By controlling the essential infrastructure, the picks and shovels of the AI gold rush, these companies are setting themselves up to be the gatekeepers of this new economy. And that creates a massive strategic advantage, a huge barrier for any competitor trying to get in the game. Okay, so the story has established the scale of the AI workforce and the infrastructure behind it. Now it pivots to what's supposed to be the human cost, turning these abstract threats into very specific, concrete job losses.
And here it is, the evidence for the massacre. 2 really dramatic claims. Jack Dorsey's company supposedly replacing 4,000 people with a single AI, and a Goldman Sachs warning of 10,000 jobs being lost every single month. But if you scratch the surface just a little, the picture gets fuzzy. The layoffs at Dorsey's company were part of a much bigger restructuring, not a simple 4,000-to-1 swap. And the Goldman Sachs number, that's from a report about potential long-term impact across the whole economy. It's not a report of actual current job losses. And that's a key tactic here, presenting a worst-case forecast as if it's a current event.
So, after painting this picture of a full-blown crisis, the story moves towards its real goal, pushing the audience to make a decision and framing it as a life-or-death choice you have to make right now.
To really crank up the pressure, another tech titan is brought into the mix, Elon Musk. His call for universal basic income is presented as the ultimate proof that society is about to unravel. But, of course, Musk's views on UBI are way more complex and have changed over time. By just using this one out-of-context quote, the storyteller is basically borrowing his authority to make their own narrative feel that much more urgent.
And here it is. This is the trap the whole narrative has been setting: fight or join. It's a false choice, a binary that's designed to make you think there's no middle ground, no room for a more nuanced strategy like adapting or regulating or integrating. It's a classic persuasion technique. Simplify the problem so you can sell a simple solution.
And then, after manufacturing the crisis and forcing the choice, the storyteller just so happens to have the one and only path to safety, a platform called CollabGenerate. And that reveals the final piece of the puzzle. The entire narrative, all the fear, the urgency, that false choice, it all serves as one big marketing funnel, positioning their solution not as an option but as a necessity for your survival.
So after deconstructing this whole story, from the initial alarm all the way to the final call to action, what should we really be taking away from all this? What's the real strategic lesson here?
Ultimately, the narrative we've just picked apart is just that, a story. And in an era where change is happening this fast, probably the most important leadership skill isn't choosing a side, but learning to decode the stories being told. The real strategic move isn't to fight AI or join AI, but to lead through its integration. Because while, yes, some tasks will be automated, entirely new, absolutely critical roles are emerging. We're going to need AI integration strategists to manage how all this gets implemented. We'll need data storytellers to translate what the AIs are saying into actual business strategy. And we'll definitely need automation ethicists to make sure these incredibly powerful systems are used responsibly. The future of work isn't about replacement, it's about reinvention. And that starts with learning how to separate the strategic signal from all the narrative noise.